This is a demonstration of exercise 717, accounting for petty cash. Jackie's Dance Studio created a $220 Impress petty cash fund. During the month, the fund custodian authorized and signed petty cash tickets as follows, and the problem gives us 5 petty cash ticket numbers, the items that were purchased, the accounts that would be debited, and the amounts for each of the tickets. The requirements state in Part 1 to make the general journal entry to create the petty cash fund and include an explanation. So we know when we create the petty cash fund, we would debit petty cash for $220 and we would credit cash for the same amount. The $220 check would be taken to the bank and cashed, and the $220 put into the fund to pay the petty cash as it's needed. In Part 2 of the problem, it says make the general journal entry to record the petty cash fund replenishment, and cash in the fund totals $40 and include an explanation. So from time to time, as the petty cash fund gets low, we go ahead and we debit each of the expenses for the tickets that are in there. We write a check for the amount that we need to replenish the fund back to the original amount. We take that check to the bank and we get the money so that we will have the full amount in the petty cash fund again. So now we are going to debit the expenses for each of the 5 petty cash fund tickets that we were given in the problem. The first one for the delivery of the programs would be a debit to delivery expense for $20. The second one for mailing the package would be a debit to postage expense for $10. The third petty cash ticket was for a newsletter, which was printing expense, so that would be a debit of $25. Next, we have a key to a closet that we would debit to miscellaneous expense for $40. And then the last ticket was for copier paper, which we would debit to office supplies for $70. We know that our fund was originally $220 and there's only $40 left in the fund, so the check that we would write to replenish the petty cash fund would be $180. If you notice, our petty cash fund tickets only equal $165, so there was probably a payment for petty cash and there was no ticket recorded, or someone received the wrong amount of money. When the petty cash fund is short, we debit cash short and over, which is this case, and we do it for the difference between the total for the tickets, which was $165, and the amount that we need to replenish the fund back to the original amount, which was $180. In the third requirement, it states, assume that Jackie's Dance Studio decides to decrease the petty cash fund to $120 and make the general journal to record this decrease. So if the dance studio decides that they no longer want to have $220 in the petty cash fund, but they want to reduce it to $120, then we would take $100 out of the petty cash fund and we would deposit that back in the bank, and we would debit cash and we would credit petty cash for the same amount. And that is the conclusion of the demonstration for exercise 717.